You wake up, check your phone like every other morning, and almost drop it on your face. Your bank balance doesn't say 18,450 naira anymore. It says 10,018,450 naira. No lottery ticket. No rich uncle you know. No scam message. Just one bank alert that changes your life forever. Would you tell someone? Or pretend nothing happened? Because what you decide in the next few hours will completely change the rest of your life. You stare at the screen for almost a minute. Maybe you're still dreaming. You rub your eyes. You close the banking app, open it again. The number is still there. 10 million naira. Your heart starts racing. There's no way. You refresh again. Still there. You even restart your phone hoping the app is broken. Nothing changes. The money is real. Immediately, 100 thoughts crash into your head. Did someone send this by mistake? Is this a bank error? If I touch it, will they arrest me? Instead of celebrating, you're terrified. You quickly put your phone down like it's dangerous. For the next 30 minutes, you just walk around your room. You don't know whether to laugh or panic. Finally, you decide to call your bank. Your voice shakes. Good morning. I think something is wrong with my account. The customer service representative asks for your details. You wait. Every second feels like an hour. Then she comes back. Sir, according to our records, the transfer is completely legitimate. You freeze. What transfer? She explains that the money came from the estate of someone named Chief Samuel Adeyemi. The name means absolutely nothing to you. You've never heard it before. You tell her there must be a mistake. She politely replies, no, sir. Our records show you're listed as one of the beneficiaries. Beneficiary? How? You don't even know the man. Before ending the call, she tells you something that refuses to leave your mind. If you'd like more information, the lawyer handling the estate has been trying to reach you. An hour later, you're sitting inside a law office. The lawyer smiles warmly before sliding a brown envelope across the table. Inside is a handwritten letter. It reads, if you're reading this, then I'm no longer alive. You swallow hard. The lawyer explains. Years ago, before you were even born, your late grandfather once saved Chief Samuel's life during a terrible accident. The two men remained friends. Before Samuel died, he made one unusual request. He wanted part of his wealth to go to the grandchildren of the man who once saved him. You happened to be one of them. No tricks, no conditions, no hidden debts. The money is legally yours. Walking out of the office feels strange. Nothing around you has changed. The traffic is still loud. The roadside food vendors are still shouting. People are still rushing to work. But somehow, everything feels different. Because only you know that your life changed this morning. You could walk into a car dealership right now. You could quit your job. You could book the first flight out of Nigeria. You could finally buy everything you've ever wanted. But instead, you enter a roadside restaurant and order the same 1,500 naira plate of rice you've been eating every Friday. The woman serving your food smiles. Business hasn't been easy these days. You nod. She has no idea you're sitting there with 10 million naira in your account. For the first time in your life, you realize something. Money can completely change your life without changing how the world sees you. That evening, your best friend calls. Omo, I'm seriously broke. You almost tell him. The words reach your lips. Then you stop. If he knows, everything changes. Every conversation, every favor, every invitation, every relationship. Instead, you simply say, I understand. Things are hard for everyone. You hang up feeling guilty. Not because you lied, but because you're no longer sure whether people would still treat you the same if they knew. Monday morning arrives. You go back to work. Same office, same chair, same annoying boss. He walks past your desk without saying good morning. An hour later, he dumps another pile of files on your table. I need these before closing. Normally, you'd feel trapped. You need the salary. You need the job. You need to survive. But today, something feels different. You look at him and quietly smile. Not because he's funny, because for the first time, he has absolutely no power over you. He thinks he's controlling your future. He has no idea. You could resign before lunch and never come back. That secret feels more valuable than the money itself. But keeping a secret isn't easy, especially when life starts testing you. Because over the next few weeks, the people around you begin revealing who they really are. And one simple decision is about to change everything. The next few weeks become the strangest period of your life. Nothing around you changes, yet everything feels different. Every conversation suddenly has a second meaning. Every smile makes you wonder, would they still smile if they knew? You don't spend the money, not because you're afraid, because you're watching. watching how people treat someone they believe has nothing, and what you discover surprises you. 3 days later, your office announces budget cuts. Everyone gathers in the conference room. Your manager clears his throat. We'll have to reduce salaries for a while. The room goes silent. Someone quietly sighs. Another person lowers their head. You do the same, even though you know something no one else does. Your salary no longer determines your future. But then your manager says something that bothers you. If anyone doesn't like it, the door is open. The words hit everyone like a slap. You look around. People stay quiet. Not because they agree, because they have bills to pay. Children to feed, rent due next week. For the first time, you understand what financial freedom really means. It isn't owning expensive things, it's having the freedom to say, no, but you don't quit. Not yet. Something tells you to wait. And that decision will soon save you from making the biggest mistake of your life. That evening, your phone rings. It's your cousin Tunde. You haven't spoken in months. Omo, how far? You smile. The conversation starts normally. Football, weather, family. Then it happens. My guy, I actually called because I need small help. You almost laugh. Not because it's funny, because deep down, you expected it. You send him 50,000 naira without hesitation. He thanks you almost 20 times. But what hurts isn't giving the money. It's what he says next. I didn't even think you'd have this kind of money. That sentence stays in your mind all night. People don't just judge your clothes, and they judge your value. A week later, you're stuck in Lagos traffic. Cars aren't moving. People are frustrated. Then you notice something. An old woman is standing beside the road. She's crying. Cars drive past her. Nobody stops. You park, walk over. She explains that her grandson is in the hospital. She has sold almost everything she owns. She's still short of 280,000 naira for surgery. She isn't begging. She's simply exhausted. You ask which hospital. She tells you. Without saying another word, you drive there. Inside the hospital, you speak privately with the cashier. You pay the bill. In full. You ask for one thing. Please don't tell her who paid. The cashier looks confused. Sir, are you sure? You nod. I don't want her thanking me. A few minutes later, the old woman learns the bill has been cleared. She falls to her knees. Tears stream down her face. She keeps asking, who did this? Nobody answers. You quietly walk out before she can see you. As you leave, something strange happens. For the first time since receiving the money, you genuinely smile, not because you're richer, because you helped someone, without expecting anything back. Maybe that's what money was always meant for. Months pass. Your lifestyle barely changes. Same apartment, same clothes, same office, same car that coughs every morning before starting. Your friends continue making jokes. Omo, this your car needs prayer. Everyone laughs, including you. Nobody realizes you could replace it this afternoon, but you don't, because something has become more valuable than luxury. Peace. Then, one Friday evening, everything almost changes. Your friends invite you to a lounge. Music, food, laughter. Halfway through the night, the bill arrives. Everyone suddenly becomes quiet. One friend pretends to answer a phone call. Another says he'll transfer later. You've seen this before. Without thinking, you quietly pay the entire bill. Nobody notices how easily you do it. As you're leaving, one friend whispers, Guy, since when did you start having money? You shrug. I've just been saving. He laughs. You, saving? Impossible. Everyone laughs. The conversation ends, or so you think, because someone at that table doesn't believe your answer. And from that night forward, they quietly begin watching you. Watching where you go. Watching what you buy. Watching every move you make. Without realizing it, your biggest secret has just attracted its first hunter. Back at work, things become even stranger. One afternoon, your boss calls you into his office. He closes the door, then he places a file on the desk. I need you to sign this. You read it. The company wants employees to accept unpaid overtime, with no extra benefits. You look up. Your boss smiles. You don't really have a choice. A month ago, he would have been right. Today, he couldn't be more wrong. You slowly close the file, take a deep breath, and for the first time, you prepare to tell him something he's never expected to hear. But before the words leave your mouth, your phone vibrates. One notification, one message, one name. It changes everything. The screen reads, unknown number. We know about the 10 million naira. Your heart stops. Who sent that message? And how could anyone possibly know? You stare at your phone. The message is only 5 words. We know about the 10 million naira. No profile picture, no saved contact, no explanation. Just that. Your stomach tightens. You immediately look around your boss's office. Did someone see your phone? No, everyone is busy working. You lock your screen. Your boss clears his throat. So, are you signing the document? For a second, you completely forget where you are. The message keeps replaying in your mind. We know. Who is we? The bank? The lawyer? A scammer? Or someone much closer? You force yourself to stay calm. I'm sorry, sir. You slide the document back across his desk. I won't be signing this. His smile disappears. What did you say? I said no. The room goes silent. For months, this man had spoken to you as if your future depended on him. Today, it doesn't. He leans back in his chair. You know jobs are hard to find. You nod. I know. So you're willing to risk losing yours? You smile politely. I guess we'll both find out. You stand up, walk toward the door, and leave him sitting there in complete silence. For the first time in years, you breathe freely. Not because you quit, because fear no longer controls your decisions. The unknown message, however, never leaves your mind. That evening, you decide to call the number. It rings once, then disconnects. You try again. Switched off. No WhatsApp, no profile, nothing. Almost as if the number never existed. You tell yourself it's probably a prank, but deep inside, something doesn't feel right. The following Saturday, your phone rings again. This time, it's the lawyer. His voice sounds worried. Have you told anyone about the inheritance? Your heart skips. No. Are you sure? Yes. There's a long pause. Then he sighs. Someone has been calling my office pretending to be your financial advisor. Your grip on the phone tightens. What? They've been asking questions about your inheritance. Cold chills run through your body. Someone isn't guessing anymore. Someone is investigating. For the next few days, you become unusually careful. You stop checking your bank balance in public. You avoid discussing money. You even change your passwords. Still, that feeling refuses to leave. Someone is watching. One afternoon, when you stop at a supermarket after work, as you're paying for groceries, the cashier smiles. Your card isn't working. You laugh nervously. Try again. She does. Still declined. People in the queue begin staring. Your heart starts racing. You quickly open your banking app. Balance. 10,018,450 naira. Nothing is missing. So why won't the card work? The cashier apologizes. Our network just came back. She inserts the card again. Approved. The line moves. Everyone forgets. Except you. For 30 terrifying seconds. You thought everything was gone. You realize something important. The money has slowly become more than money. It's become security, hope, freedom. The idea of losing it scares you more than never having it. That night, your best friend, David, unexpectedly visits your apartment. He brings food. The two of you laugh for hours, nothing unusual, until he asks one simple question. Can I use your laptop for a minute? My phone battery is dead. Sure. You hand it over. You walk into the kitchen to grab drinks. Only a minute passes. Maybe two. Then you hear him call your name. Guy? His voice sounds different. You walk back into the living room. He's staring at the screen. Your stomach drops. You forgot one thing. Earlier that day, you logged into your online banking account. You never logged out. Your balance is sitting there in giant numbers. 10,018,450 naira. David slowly looks at you, then back at the screen, then back at you again. Neither of you speaks. The room suddenly feels too quiet. Finally, he whispers, "Is this real?" You don't answer. You don't need to. The silence says everything. David sits down slowly. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to look. You believe him. He genuinely looks shocked. I just opened the browser, and it was already there. For several seconds, he says nothing. Then he laughs. Not because it's funny, because his brain can't process what he's seeing. He points at you. You've been riding that noisy car, eating noodles every week, complaining about fuel prices, while you're sitting on 10 million naira? You smile awkwardly. I didn't know how to tell anyone. His face becomes serious. You shouldn't have told anyone. I didn't. He looks confused. Then why are you telling me now? You quietly reply, because you already know, David promises. I swear, this secret stays between us. You believe him. After all, that he's your closest friend. The one who stood beside you through everything. If there's anyone you can trust, it's him, right? Unfortunately, some secrets don't spread because people are evil. They spread because people talk to one person they trust, and that one person tells another. Within days, your biggest secret begins traveling through the city without you even knowing. By the time you discover the truth, You don't notice it at first. Life seems normal. David still calls. You still go to work. You still wear the same clothes. You still drive the same old car that rattles every morning. But then small things begin to happen. One Tuesday afternoon, your phone won't stop ringing. 3 missed calls, then 6. Then 12. People you haven't spoken to in years suddenly remember your number. An old secondary school classmate sends you a message. Bro, how far? Long time. A distant uncle you've only seen twice in your life suddenly calls you, my son. Even your former landlord, the same man who once threatened to throw your belongings outside over late rent, sends you a voice note. You're a good person. We should reconnect. You stare at your phone. Something feels terribly wrong. Later that evening, you call David. Did you tell anyone? There's silence, then he sighs. I only told my fiancée. Your heart sinks. Only her. She promised she wouldn't tell anyone. You close your eyes. You already know what happened. She told her sister told her husband told his friends. By the end of the week, your secret wasn't a secret anymore. Everything changes overnight. The same people who ignored your birthday for years suddenly invite you to expensive dinners. Friends who never returned your calls now text you every morning. People begin calling you boss. Not because you've changed, because they believe your money has. Then something happens that breaks your heart. Your mother calls. Her voice is unusually quiet. My son? Some people came to the house today. Your chest tightens. What did they want? They said they know you're rich now. They kept asking questions. They wanted to know where you keep your money. You immediately stand up. What? They wouldn't leave until the neighbors started watching. For the first time, your wealth doesn't feel like a blessing. It feels dangerous. That night, you can't sleep. You replay everything. The bank alert. The inheritance. The excitement. The fear. The secret. Then one question hits you harder than anything else. Was the money changing people, or simply revealing who they had always been? The next morning, you make a decision, not because you're angry, because you're tired. You resign from your job, not dramatically, not with insults. You simply thank your boss for the opportunity. He looks shocked. You actually found another job? You smile. Something like that. He reaches out to shake your hand. This time, his respect feels genuine. Maybe because for the first time you aren't desperate for his approval. You leave the building feeling lighter than you have in years. Over the next few months, you quietly change your life. You move your mother into a safer home, not a mansion, just somewhere peaceful. You invest most of the money instead of spending it. You start a small business you've always dreamed about. No flashy launch, no social media announcement, no celebration, just steady work. And then you do something that surprises even yourself. Every month, you secretly pay the school fees of 5 children whose parents can't afford it. You never meet them. You never tell them your name. You simply ask the school principal to say, someone believes in your future. That's all. No photographs, no applause, no headlines. Years pass. Your business grows. The 10 million naira becomes much more. Not because you gambled, not because you showed off. Because you stayed patient, because you invested, because you understood something most people never do. Money isn't powerful because you spend it. It's powerful because it gives you choices. One afternoon, you're sitting in a quiet cafe when you see someone familiar, your former boss. He doesn't recognize you immediately. His hair is grayer now. He looks tired. He sits alone. You think about walking away. Instead, you buy his lunch anonymously. As you leave, you hear the waiter tell him, Sir, someone has already paid. He looks around, confused. You smile to yourself. Some people repay insults with revenge. You chose peace. A few weeks later, David visits you again. This time, he doesn't come to borrow money. He simply wants to apologize. I should have protected your secret. You look at him for a long moment, then you smile. We all make mistakes. He nods. But I learned something. So did I. He laughs. What? You lean back in your chair. The hardest part about becoming rich is discovering who is only waiting for you to become useful. Both of you laugh. Not because it's funny, because it's true. Years later, people still tell stories about the mysterious person who paid hospital bills, who sponsored children's education, who quietly helped strangers without asking for recognition. Most never know it was you. And that's exactly how you wanted it. Because the greatest feeling wasn't seeing people admire your wealth. It was lying in bed every night, knowing your money made someone's life easier, without making your ego bigger. If you woke up tomorrow with 10 million naira in your account, what would change first? Your house? Your clothes? Your friends? Or would the biggest change happen inside you? Because maybe real wealth isn't the amount sitting in your bank account. Maybe real wealth is waking up every morning, Knowing that your happiness no longer depends on proving anything to anyone. Sometimes the richest person in the room is the one nobody suspects.